It was the girl that worked at the hotel that sold the footage who allegedly sent the location to Julio Foolio ops, man. And we already knew that it was had to have been somebody that was already on scene at the place. Like, everybody thought it was the people that was inside the party, but you gotta realize that once they seen the people checking in, the hotel people lady, she looked through the camera, she already knew what room Foolio was staying in, and she saw the cars and everything, because this is still Florida. So when she looked out in the lobby and she seen it was Foolio, because she could recognize him because of the way his hairstyle was. And so this is when she was trying to message a lot of people. She messaged a lot of the street dudes, like, did they check in, did they do this, did they do that? So after a matter of time, they pretty much got a hold of Youngeen Ace, and that's when Youngeen Ace gave him the green light, and it was go time from that point on, man. And basically, they're looking at a lot of people right now. The suspects, they're saying that allegedly they thinking it's Tay Shotzz, they thinking it's a lot of people from ATK and HNG. But what y'all gotta realize is that at the end of the day, people already knew that this was going to happen. They knew that somebody from the hotel was going to end up getting caught and charged for this, because they already know, the hotel people, they're the first person to know who was coming. Like, before they posted any address or anything like that, the workers already knew who was Foolio's name on the actual itinerary, and he was doing a show that night anyways. They connected the dots. The girl, she made sure she was working and everything. So as soon as she started seeing that and she looked into it and realized that it was money on his head, that's when she called the person. She called her peoples, and the dude told her on the phone, don't you know it's money on his head? And so that's when she instantly decided that she was just gonna go ahead and drop the low, because her and her dude, whoever she called, they could split the money and just basically give the ops the location, and it's like they'll get it all done or whatever like that. And she didn't think it was gonna ever come back on her. And then the thing is the mistake she made, the mistake the hotel workers made, was selling the footage, because they sold the footage, people already was talking about who worked in the hotel. Like, a lot of people from the streets and from Tampa and Jacksonville, they knew who was working at that hotel that night. Everything leaked, man. Once everybody seen what happened online, and they was posting the stories, they could see who was in the Holiday Inn uniform. Like, the people who showed up to the Holiday Inn after they found out Foolio was the one that got hit, all them people that showed up there, man, they saw the 12 in Tampa PD talking to the hotel workers, and they recognized one of the girls there. Whole time she's actually like connected to the people who they think is the suspects. And so that's why they are now talking to the hotel worker girl who leaked the footage, who dropped the location, and they're pretty much interrogating her to try to figure out how much she knows about the guys that came to do the drill, because there's a direct connection right there between the people in the hotel setting it up, backdooring Foolio, and connected to his ops, ATK, Youngeen Ace, and all of that. Now, allegedly, they saying that basically when they pulled up, they already knew that the girl was working there. They offered her $10K to drop the location right away, and then that way it was still a lot of people that was coming. Like, it was first come first serve. Whatever hitter and shooter got there first, whichever one of the ops got there first, they pretty much waited in the parking lot until they all came down them stairs. And the girl was the one who told them that on the footage they went up the stairs. She's the one that told them what corner of the hotel. She's the one that told them, well, like, that he was in the third floor and everything like that. So they all waited right there. And basically, if it wasn't for her doing that, Foolio and them would have like left and got out that jam before anybody could pull up. And so you got to understand that this whole thing was a setup. Like, they all did this to collect the money that was put on Foolio's head. A lot of people are hurting out here and stuff. So you got to realize that people are going to the max, to the extreme lengths to try to get whatever they could get, man. And if it means them dropping the location and sending it to the ops and all of this stuff, you got to understand, people got to stop doing that. Like, just because they was there and they seen she wasn't connected to any of the beef, so what made them want to go in and drop the location on Foolio all of a sudden? Like, you got to realize that they pretty much came to her and said that they was already gonna do it, and that they'd get her too. So a lot of people already were talking about the fact that it was a connection between her and ATK, and this is the main reason why they pretty much like said that once she dropped the footage out there, that was the person that did it too. Because why would you sell the footage and make it and put the attention on yourself like that? As soon as that footage was released, the hotel was like, hold on, that's our office and everything. Like, that was recorded right off the computer from the office of the Holiday Inn. So the Holiday Inn fired the girl that was working the night of Foolio because they know she was tampering with and basically giving the info out, and so they don't want nothing to come back on them. Now the Holiday Inn got to cover their tracks and dot their I's and cross their T's because they think that the girl working there and all that is part of them. So now they could get, it's basically opened a whole can of worms to where now the Holiday Inn can get in trouble because their employee was the one who dropped the location and sent the footage out. And that's enough for them to pretty much get hit with some kind of trouble too. And the lawsuits are going to be coming soon. But once Foolio's family gets everything cleared up, they're still trying to get justice. There's still an investigation going on. And at the end of the day, everybody that's close to the situation, the sources out there in Florida, they know what's actually happening. They know about all the people that got slid on in ATK. A lot of the suspects got dropped because of the direct retaliation from Foolio. Once they found out it was them that did it, they went right to Jacksonville. They went right to their hood, Youngeen Ace's hood, and they try to get, like, they pretty much try to get it even and even the score and up the score and all that kind of stuff. So at the end of the day, this is an ongoing situation. This might continue on for a few more years and everything because they're still trying to track down a couple of the suspects. It was more than one person, so they have to pretty much put this whole team together, people who's going to talk to the ATK guys, the people that's going to have to talk to the witnesses, and there's people that's going to have to review the footage and the phone records, the alibis, and everybody that had something to do with it. They're going to get looked into. They're going to talk to everybody and try to figure out who was the one who started this, who's the one who put the money up, what's the motive behind it, and if it is related to Youngeen Ace and connected to them, then they're pretty much going to have to take the fall for it because the people are already starting to snitch on each other. The suspects started telling on each other. This is how they even got one of the guys. The guy went on live and he said that he got paid $10K to do it. And so this is the main testimony that's going to be used in court when they tell the jury that one of the suspects, the shooters who was masked up in the brown mask, said that he got paid $10K to do it. They're going to want to look into who he hangs out with and who he's connected with. And if that ends up coming back to saying that he's clicked up with Youngeen Ace and hangs out with them, then they know that they're going to try to get the suspects that they already have from ATK. Like, they put the lineup and everybody had to stand in front of the height chart, and one of the witnesses had to point out everybody that's from that group that was actually there that night. And this is how they even got the first person. Once they found out that that was that guy, he hurried up and took the plea deal. He took the plea deal and told on another person. That's how he was even out to be able to do that video saying he got paid $10K. He took a proffer agreement to where he told him everything about the Foolio thing so that he don't get charged for something else that they caught him with. And so basically they're like, tell us what everything that you did as part of the Foolio setup, and let us know who was with you, who did what, who drove, who put the money up. And if you tell us about that, then we're not gonna take you down for this thing that we caught you with over here. So he taking a proffer agreement and a plea deal, and he basically telling on the rest of the guys so that he could get out and not have to do any of the time. And this is what it's looking like right now, because everybody don't want, like, everybody that was a part of it, they took the money and all that, but now that they got caught, they never thought they was going to get caught. They tried to plan how they was going to do it and not how they was going to get away with it. And so now that that happened, they're like, you know what, it wasn't my idea, this guy told me to do it, Youngeen Ace paid me this, paid me that, XYZ, blase, so on and so forth. So they starting to really talk out there and pretty much up, like, they're voluntarily giving information, incriminating a lot of the people from ATK, a lot of the people that they was in the music videos in the back of the song, and they was in the back of the videos, and that's the same suspects in his music video. So that's how they know that this whole thing is connected. So basically they coming after everybody, and they trying to get to the bottom of who took out Foolio and who put the bread up for it. And the streets already know, but they getting everybody one by one.